I hope they don't wait until it's too late. I hope they jump on it right now and change their processes, change their thinking, especially change their culture, because the culture is what gets in the way of innovation. A lot of companies have been burned so many times by new things that they are extremely risk adverse, extremely conservative, and a lot of executives see the innovation not on their management cycle, because they're only there for 4 or 5 years, and it used to be it takes 10 years to come up with a new innovation. Well, that will happen. My successor will have to take care of it. Well, that has changed. That will happen on their shift now. It has to happen next year or the following. So it will happen on their shift. And as I said, there's still a lot of learning to happen out there. So.
All right. Now, some of these company execs, they do really understand, because of course they read the Washington Journal and the New York Times. Of course, they understand what is going on, no? But why did they go to their company and they still are not running at the speed of light? Because that is how the system is today, though. Like you correctly said, everything is speed now. So
Correct.
Is it that the idea of innovation is not being sold correctly to some of these company execs, that they are not making the right decision to promote innovation, or what? Why are they not running?
Yeah, well, the execs, I hope the execs are not the ones who now start to have the ideas, okay? Because they are relatively far remote from the technology and the customer and so on. So I hope that the execs let the people who are good at innovation and who are the experts at it, let them do it the way it should be done. And so very often it would be just supporting them and taking the obstacles out of their way more than anything else. So, but how innovation is done today, of course, it all starts with new thinking. It starts with the studying of the environment, which, by the way, changes extremely fast. And as I said, it's a lot about finding opportunities, finding customer problems, leveraging technology, and maybe many other ones. But the companies who do it very well, I noticed they experiment fast. They don't get stuck with a 3-year scientific study. It's the startups that have no money and have no time. They do it with the bare minimum, and it turned out that bare minimum is actually the best way to do it, because if you work like they work, you can assess 100 new ideas for the price of a single one if you do it in the traditional system. And I think that kind of thinking and also that kind of agility, where even executives know that what we thought would work today doesn't work next month, and we have to be agile to realize that, and change next month again, and the next month we have to change again, because things out there don't accommodate anymore what we have been working on. So it's that kind of thinking that I think makes the innovation possible. It's that flexibility, it's that agility, but it's not only the agility in the technical part of the innovation, but it's also that agility in the marketing, in the acceptance, in everything that is related to that plays a role. It's the agility to play the games of the politicians, or you name it, because the last few years there have been very, very significant changes in the global politics, in the global in global what you call it, in global markets, in policies that were created that affected global markets. All that has to be part of the innovation, and all that changes every day or every other day. And it's that kind of thinking, to be ready to embrace that and not say, hey, I'm going to force my innovation on the market because next year it's going to be ready. That's not the way it works anymore. The thinking is, I need to change that innovation, the development of that innovation every day, so it keeps pace with all the other changes that go on. That and in fact, the launch is not like it used to be. Next year we launch a new product. That's not the way it goes anymore. We launch the new product when it's the best time to make money on it, and that can be next month, or it can be in 2 years from now. So even that plays a role in it, and I believe it's that agility and the agility to deal with that uncertainty, to use that uncertainty to your advantage, to become fast, to become agile, that will play a big role in innovation in the near future.
Now, that is, if we are talking about the future, then of course, future generation are definitely the protagonists of that reality. How do we get more young people into innovation? Because if they are innovating, then they are not going to run out of something to do. Company will always look for them because they know how to adapt. So how do we do that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the society, the schools, and so on, do not necessarily promote that. And so I believe, let's also face it, artistic innovation and technical innovation may not be exactly the same thing. But anyway, I think schools from the very beginning have to be a little bit cognizant of that fact, that they can do a lot of damage, and that they do not necessarily promote that. I've seen a lot of companies create these innovation rooms, and oh man, they are super. You go in there, there's free food in there, and the walls are hanging full of stuff. And but at the end of the day, when the people who work in these rooms come up with this great idea, it's like, oh no, we cannot do that. That obstacle is still one of the biggest ones as far as I'm concerned. It's why not at least try it? Why not spend 2 days of trying it and $100 of trying it? And I love that idea of that company who gives their employees a credit card. And they give them a credit card that they can buy something without having to go through purchasing and without having to get the approval from anybody. They can go and buy something, and then also they give them tokens for how they can use company resources to experiment. And if I limit it, the credit card is not worth a lot of money, but you don't need a lot of money if you think about, how can I do this with the least amount of money? And that's part of innovation. So not a lot of money, you go to Amazon or someplace, you buy it, and you go in the lab, and somebody in the lab is actually helping you work on it. And then maybe in a few weeks, you give the people a little bit bigger credit card, because what their first thing they tried was very well worth it. So it's there can't be any bureaucracy anymore to this. It's too fast to be bureaucratic. So you have to be flexible, but you have to also manage the risk and the exposure within your company. But that's just one little example. But I also believe education has to come first. Neither executives nor engineers are educated the right way. And then also now you scale it back to the schools, and you scale it back to the earlier schools. And I think that the schools from the early days on have to prepare people to be successful in these companies. I tell you, today's schools are preparing students very well to be successful in the traditional big companies. They're preparing them very well.